Hello everyone, welcome to your 8th QB64 tutorial, and today we'll be talking about something called the do loop. Now the do loop is one of 3 loops that we'll be talking about in these tutorials. I find the do loop to be the most, the simplest to understand really, and the one that I use the most often. And so first things first, I'm going to declare x as a string. Since we're going to be asking a question, I'm going to input what is your name, and then I'm going to save that to x, and we're going to print nice to meet you x. So test our program out real quick. What is your name? Zach. Nice to meet you, Zach. And notice that it asks us what our name is once, and then as soon as we put in our name, if we press any button on the keyboard, it ends the program. However, if we want it to ask what our name is repeatedly, put do right here, loop. And this is how the computer will read this. Oh, sorry. Okay. So dim-x is string do. So whatever is in between do and loop, the computer is going to repeat this. So do, input what is your name, print nice to meet you. Loop goes right back up to do. Input what is your name, print nice to meet you. Loop goes right up back up to do. And it just goes on repeatedly forever and ever. So let's test that out. Okay, what is your name? Zach. Nice to meet you, Zach. Ask us again, what is my name? Bubba. Nice to meet you, Bubba. What's your name? Billy Bob. Nice to meet you, Billy Bob. Bob. Cat. Dog. You know, it just keeps on going forever and ever. Taco Bell. Pizza Hut. Burger King. And etc. It keeps on going on forever and ever. And however, if we want to make some modifications to this program, here I'll just go ahead and X this out to end it. You can do loop if we want. Okay, say we want it to stop looping if x equals quit. Like if the user types in quit, we want it to end the program. And so we can do loop until x equals end. So here's how the program will work. Here, and I'll just change end to exit. Here we go. Okay, so it's going to go do, input what is your name, print nice to meet you, loop, and it's going to check if x equals exit. And if x does not equal exit, then it's going to go back up to do, input, print, and it's going to check again. Now, if x does equal exit, then it's going to stop looping. It's just going to keep on going. And since there's nothing in front of loop until x equals exit, the program's just going to end. So here I'll show you. Okay, what is your name? We got Zach, Bob, Billy, and we're done. So we're just going to put exit. Nice to meet you, exit, and now that stops the loop. Here I'll show you again. Exit. And press any key and it ends the loop. And that is one way you can escape loops. Right here, loop until this condition is met. And just to show you how loops work, I can put print the loop is over. And notice that this is outside of the do loop. This is outside of the loop. So all this is going to be looped infinitely until x equals exit. And then when the loop is over, it's going to print the loop is over. So we'll run this. Okay, what is your name? Zach, Zachary, exit, and it puts the loop is over. Since the loop is over, it's ended, and since the loop is over, print command is outside of the loop. And I realize that this might be a little difficult to grasp right now, but just keep practicing it, you'll get the hang of it. And so The do loop, in my opinion, is very important. It can be used for correcting errors. You can have a lot of fun with do loops. Here, I'll just go ahead and erase all of this here. Okay, we're going to declare x or a as integer. Okay, a is our integer, and we're going to do print a loop. However, we do not have a value for a, so we'll just set a to equal 1. And if we run our program, it is going to repeatedly print 1. You see this flashing 1 right here? That means that it's continuously printing 1. One way we can have fun with this is that we can set a to add 1 every time it loops. So a equals a plus 1. That's just saying that every time this loops around, we're going to add 1 to a. Here, I'll show you. And as you can see here, the computer's going crazy because computers can add very quickly, so it's really quickly adding 1, and since it's going so fast and never ending, the computer is just flipping out, glitching up. But what we can do is say loop until a equals 100, and then if we run our program, we have a stopping point. So that way, the computer will not run so glitchy. It's just gonna calmly add the numbers. And just a recap on what this is doing. A equals 1, and so we're going to print the value of a, and we're going to add 1 to a. So a will equal a plus 1. We're just adding 1 to a. And then we're going to loop. So do print a, add 1 to a, loop, go back up to do, and then it keeps doing this and doing this and doing this until a gets up to 100, and then it's going to stop. But we can just forget the loop, and if you want to show something cool to your friends, just type up this code. And then watch them call you a nerd. Does look pretty cool though. And that's an example of the do loop for you. Here, I'm just going to go ahead and erase this. Now what I can do is I can go ahead and pull up here. Here's the calculator code from the previous tutorial. We have our calculators and stuff. And let's say we wanted to make sure. Here, I'll just put some space between these two inputs. Let's say we wanted to make sure that the user would type in addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, or exponents. And so what we will do is put do loop until OP equals addition, or OP equals subtraction, or OP equals division, or OP equals multiplication, or OP equals exponents. So what this does, here I'll scroll back here if I can. Okay. So here, where did I put that? Gotta scroll a little bit more. Okay. So what it's saying input, choose an operation. The user has the option for addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, or exponents. Now, the input it's going to do input, and if OP does not equal addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, or exponents, it's going to loop. Here, I'll show you. Here, choose an operation. Choose an operation. See, it did not accept that. Hello. It will not accept it until we type in addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division. Then it will let us go to our first and second numbers. And so that is good for checking for errors, because it's going to repeatedly keep asking you until you type in one of these conditions. And so recap, do, and then it's going to keep looping until OP equals addition, or OP equals subtraction, or OP equals division, or multiplication if you keep scrolling down here, multiplication or exponents. And so this is good for checking to make sure that your user is doing exactly what you want your user to be doing in your program. It will not enable your user to type in something foolish, like blah or anything, because it's just going to keep asking you the question until you give a valid answer. See? It's called input validation. That's what do loops are great for. It's input validation. And I realized that I didn't really talk about this OR command right here in previous tutorials, but it's pretty self-explanatory. You know, it's just saying there are multiple conditions, like this could happen, or this could happen, or this could happen, etc. And so this is how you can use the do loop to make sure that your user is doing exactly what you want your user to be doing. It's great for errors. Anyways, I'll go ahead and clear this up, and I'll go ahead and do one more example since this can be a little tricky. So, dim x as string I'll do, and then I'll input what is your favorite color? Okay. If I can type today. Alright, and we're going to loop. I'm going to set a do loop. Do loop until x equals green. We're going to make sure that this person is setting in a color, green, or x equals red, or x equals blue. And I'm not going to do all the colors, I'm just going to set those for now. Doesn't really matter. And so, if we run our program, we can just type in gibberish, and it's just going to keep asking and asking until we give it a valid answer. Let's do green, and then the loop ends. And so this is a way that do loops can be used. They can be very useful. And so I do hope that this tutorial benefited you in any capacity. And please, if you have any questions, ask me. I realize that this may be difficult if you're a first-time programmer, but practice this, and then I promise you that this will get into your head, and I promise that you'll get this. So thank you guys so much for watching, and again, I really stretch that you practice and ask questions. And my name is Zachary, and I bid you farewell.